Hello, everybody. Sandrine here from Savoir-Faire Nutrition. For those who don't know me, I'm a nutritional therapist and I focus on the digestion and hormone health. And today, in fact, I wanted to chat to you about IBS because, or also called irritable bowel syndrome, because it is April and it's all about raising awareness about this condition. But if you're watching this later, it's still very relevant because we should be talking about IBS all the time because it's such a common issue and it does affect so many people. And this is one of the reasons why I study nutrition, is because I had IBS myself with a whole host of symptoms that were just ruining my life. And understanding how nutritional therapy can help you address it and get rid of it for good is essential, because let's face it, if you go to your GP, you may not get a huge amount of support. There are some guidance on the NHS website about living with IBS, but today I'm going to talk about, what are the signs, what are the potential causes of IBS, and what to do about it and how to treat it. Okay, so did you know that actually perhaps 2 people out of 10 in this country suffer from IBS? It's a very, very common issue. And how do you know you have it? Well, it is basically an issue with a functional issue with your digestive system, okay? And the main signs would be either having diarrhea or constipation or alternating between the two. So that's your first signs. And then there's other symptoms that go basically alongside those. So you could be experiencing bloating. That's another very common sign that goes with IBS. Bloating, cramps, perhaps feeling very full after you've eaten food, you're struggling to digest your food, and then gas is another issue. So essentially, your body is telling you that it's not coping with the food that you've just been eating. And if you're going to have, let's say, diarrhea, it just means your food is traveling way too fast through your digestive system and you will not absorb all the nutrients that you need. So you may feel really tired. And if you suffer from constipation, it means your body is not expelling the toxins that actually needs to leave the body. Otherwise, you could be having other issues like brain issues, lack of concentration, feeling sluggish, feeling really tired. So all of these are signs that come with your typical IBS symptoms of diarrhea and constipation. So what are the potential causes? It's very difficult to pinpoint, of course, but my job, I'm a little bit like a detective. As a nutritional therapist, my job is to help you find the root cause. What started this condition? And there is usually a very clear, usually, sometimes there's several conditions together, so it's a bit difficult to pinpoint. But for me, for example, I started having IBS because I had food poisoning, but I only put 2 and 2 together years later, after suffering for so many years and developing all sorts of food intolerances and the cramps and the bloating are absolutely horrendous. So let me give you a few potential causes. So structural issues with your pancreas or your liver, particularly if you've had your gallbladder removed. That will have an impact on the way you digest your food. And if your bile is not concentrated enough, it can cause diarrhea. So that could be one cause. Just general inflammation can cause IBS. Something called dysbiosis. Dysbiosis is an imbalance of bacteria in the gut. So that could be either in the small intestine. There is a condition called small intestine bacterial overgrowth, SIBO. I will touch on that a bit later. Or you can have an imbalance in your colon. And you can do tests for that. You can do a stool test to actually work out what is happening in your digestive system. Stress is another big cause. You may have experienced that. You know, I remember when I was younger and doing exams, you know, I would get really stressed and I would need to go to the bathroom. That's quite common, but it's a one-off, right? It doesn't happen every day. You know, if your bowel movements are just too loose every day, there is something not quite right. You need to find what's going on. And then lack of physical exercise can also cause IBS symptoms, particularly constipation. And then if we're looking at food specifically, you can have a food intolerance. You know, lots of people really struggle with dairy. You know, lactose can cause diarrhea. And also I mentioned food poisoning. And this is a big cause of IBS. Now, I did mention about SIBO, so small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Now, about 80% of people with IBS may have SIBO. Okay, this is pretty high. And not all GPs will be aware of SIBO. However, you can do a test, which is great because it will tell you if you have it or not. So at least you can eliminate this. You know, if it's not that, then you can move on to something else. But if it is that, it will give you, basically the test will tell you which gas is being produced in your small intestine. So it's the bad bacteria that taken over from the good bacteria and causing a huge amount of gas, hence the bloating and hence the cramping later on as you digest your food. And so you can do a test and it will tell you whether you have methane gas being produced in your small intestine or hydrogen. And once you know which gas it is, you can then treat that. So how do I do that? Well, I use herbal antibiotics. In the US, they treat SIBO with antibiotics from a doctor. In the UK, as a nutritional therapist, I am not obviously allowed to prescribe antibiotics, but we use herbal antibiotics. And the advantage of that is that they are going to preserve the good bacteria and only kill the bad ones. With antibiotics, you're killing everything, the good and the bad. So yes, it's going to get rid of your bad bacteria, but it means that you then need to repopulate your gut with good bacteria. Otherwise, other issues will crop up. Okay, so I use that herbal antibiotics. And then we look at an elimination diet. Yes, you need to be committed to this. It does take a few weeks, but believe me, if it means that you can get rid of IBS for good, surely that's worth giving it a go, right? So elimination diet means that we are eliminating if we can, all the foods that cause irritation in the gut. So I did mention a term called dysbiosis, when your digestive system is off balance. So we're trying to rebalance that. And some food are known to feed the bad bacteria, like sugar and alcohol. They feed the bad bacteria. So we want to remove those to allow the body to heal itself. We also add some very targeted supplements to really help rebuild the lining of the digestive system so that you can then reintroduce all these food later and not react to them. So that's the process. This is how it works, okay? And what I want to really stress here is that nutritional therapy is here to help you find the cause of your problem. You know, we will not just recommend a solution that may be applicable for everyone. The treatment will be tailored to you. So it is about finding out, actually, is there a deficiency somewhere? Is your liver working properly? Is your stomach, digesting food properly? And if any of these things do not work very well, we can support them. And that's what makes it really effective, because you will then digest your food properly. You will then absorb all the nutrients. You will feel more energized, and you will then go to the bathroom on a regular basis. And this is absolutely crucial to feel good, but also, and especially if you're trying to balance your hormones. Because think about it, if you don't absorb all the nutrients that your hormones need, you know, you will struggle, you know, you will struggle and you will feel all sorts of symptoms. Thank you, Christine. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Individual treatments, always with nutritional therapy. You know, we're looking at your health history, your journey, what's affecting you, which foods are affecting you. Some people can eat beans, some people can't. So we work out why, what's causing that. Okay. So that's kind of a whistle tour really about IBS, and, you know, to tell you that basically you can find what is going on in the body, but you have to investigate a little bit. And it probably will mean, you know, keeping a bit of a food diary to see how you react to certain foods, if they make you feel good, if they don't, if they make you feel awful, and work out why that is. And then supporting the body with what it needs. The body is incredible. And believe me, I've been there. You know, I've had my journey with IBS, you know, for years. And I then healed my gut. I spent months healing my gut, and I was obviously learning at the time. So I've tried all sorts of diets, but I'm here to help you work out what will be good for you, what's going to make you feel better, and what's going to heal you. So if you want to hear more about it, if you are in that situation, please, please, please do not suffer in silence. Do reach out. I would love to chat, and we can help you feel great again. So it works. I'm a proof of that, and lots of my colleagues as well, because that's usually why we get interested into nutrition, because we have an issue and we want to solve it. So thank you so much for watching. Please do write down your question below if you have any, and I will be in touch. If you want to chat, again, I will leave my email address and you can get in touch with me. I'll wish you a very good day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.